Good evening, everyone. I am Debra Faye, and welcome to a very special segment of the Debra Show. This evening, we will be discussing the history of domestic violence and abuse. Joining me is my very wonderful co-host she's not only the co-host, she is also the founder of WADA. That's WADA, WADA, Women Against Domestic Abuse. The website is www.wada, WADANOW, WADAnow.org. She is the wonderful and beautiful Nebatet Harutet Shashet Sawab as my co-host this evening. I again am Debra Faye of the Debra Show, and we have a very special guest joining us this evening for this discussion. However, before I introduce him and allow him to walk us through this very important and trigger warning discussion, I want to let everybody know the purpose, my purpose, and my main objective for hosting this event, this abuse webinar, WADA's second domestic violence and abuse webinar, is because as an African American female, I want to make sure that the stigmatizing and the stereotyping of African American men or African men throughout the diaspora are not stigmatized with every time you hear domestic violence and abuse, you immediately get an image of an African American man or an African man, Black man, all the different titles that are placed upon us. You don't immediately get an image of him, of our men abusing us initially in your mind's eye, because we all know that visuals are worth more than any words can ever be. So I want to make sure that we look at this from the African perspective of domestic violence and abuse. We are going to examine the Western perspective as well, and how they began to merge together through different eras on up to the current modern day era of the escalation of abuse against women, primarily within our African American communities, and how it all came about up to this present moment, this present day. So I want to help facilitate through WADA and the Debra Show the paradigm shift away from stigmatizing African American men, Black men, African men, men of melanin, away from that whole horrible reality that is a reality today. So the way that I came across this brilliant brother was through a post on my Instagram page, Healing Ourselves Together. I posted a timeline of domestic violence, and he responded, and I really, really appreciate his response. And I also appreciate the presence of our ancestors, and have a way of bringing us together. And I reached out to him, and he agreed to come on to the Debra Show and do a historical view of the African perspective and the Western perspective historically on both ends for us. And we greatly appreciate him for doing this. And so just be warned, this is a trigger warning discussion. I want to thank all of you all who are joining us this evening and who will remain with us throughout the discussion as well. This brother, he goes by Brother Mind Ascension, and he was born in New York City. He's a native of Queens. He's a self-taught scholar, a historian, a holistic advisor, an upcoming lecturer, motivational speaker, a spiritual guide, and very, very, very much into holistic healing and health. You can follow him on Instagram under mind underscore ascension.alkemy. You can also subscribe to his YouTube channel, Mind Ascension. And without further holding back, we are going to allow Brother Mind Ascension to come on in and bring us up to where we are. And do know we will not be able to nearly even scratch the surface of this topic. So we will be doing it in segments. This will be considered part one. However, it is the second WADA abuse webinar. And without waiting any further, let me bring on our special guest, Brother Mind Ascension.